life processes. Why these reactions are going in our body? You should ask yourself why these reactions are going on inside our body. That is for maintenance. They are maintaining our body's structure. Like nothing is permanent in this world, everything changes. So these processes maintain. If something is broken, they repair it. So for maintenance, what do we need? We need energy, and that energy comes from food that we generally eat, that is generally carbon based. Then we have the food can be complex or simple. Complex one that we actually eat, like we chew and then digest it. So that complex substance it need to broken into the simpler one, so that it can be used by the body, and that is done with the help of oxygen, and for that we need respiration. So all these processes in our body are linked to each other, although the process might differ in unicellular and multicellular organism. As in unicellular organism, single cell is there. So, and that is also whole body surface is in contact with the environment. So they respire through their body, they eat through their body, they excrete through their cell, single cell. While in case of multicellular organism, like they have millions and trillions of cells. So what they need is a proper system or something for doing that work. So they have different systems. They have respiratory system to respire, they have digestive system to digest food, and they have circulatory system and transportation system for circulating something in the body. And now we are going to discuss these life processes in detail. Like what is nutrition? Like nutrition is that's something we eat. Although organisms have common need for energy, like they need energy, but they fulfill it in different ways. Like they can fulfill first one, autotrophic. The organ means they can prepare their own food. Like they can prepare their own food in the two different ways. Like first one is photoautotrophic, that is with the help of sunlight energy. That's what plants do. They use sunlight for preparing their food from inorganic and simple substances. Then we have chemosynthetic bacteria. These bacteria live in soil and they use chemicals like inorganic substances to prepare their food. And then the other one is heterotrophic nutrition. Heterotrophic nutrition is in which they do not prepare their own food. These kind of organisms are called heterotrophs, while these are called autotrophs. So heterotrophic nutrition, they do not prepare their own food. They depend on other organisms. They eat other organisms. Either they eat plant or they eat animal, whatever it may. And this heterotrophic nutrition is divided into three different categories, like saprophytic, holozoic, and parasitic. When you are learning these kind of scientific terms, you need to memorize these words. Like saprophytic, what is the meaning of it, what actually it means. Then holozoic, what does it mean? In saprophytic nutrition means they do not digest the food inside their body. What they do is they absorb the digested food from dead and decaying organism. They release the enzymes outside of the body which digest, and then the byproducts of that digestion is absorbed. In holozoic nutrition, holo means complete and zoic means animal like, means this is complete animal like. What we do, we take food in our hand and put it in our mouth. That's exactly the holozoic nutrition. Like the food is solid and is taken up inside. And then we have parasitic is like the most rare one, which is like they have the organism is called parasite because it lives on the body of other organism and it derives nourishment from the other organism. Like the parasite can be endoparasite or ectoparasite, which lives inside our body. Ticks, lice and all, these are parasites which live inside or which live outside of our body. And inside we have roundworms, hookworms. These all are parasites. So how they obtain their nutrition is also the thing which differs from one organism to other. Like in unicellular organism, it's very simple. Like they have single cell. They can take it through their body surface. they get through their body surface, like we see in amoeba, like they form pseudopodia like structure, that's we call false feet, pseudo and podia. Okay, so false feet, from any side it can emerge out two hands which cover the surface and then engulf it. So that's in amoeba. In multicellular organism, they have proper alimentary canal for the purpose of nutrition. Like it's a long tube-like structure in which food is kept in mouth, and then it undergoes digestion in the long process. It passes through esophagus, then it reaches the stomach where it is digested, and then small intestine also. Then it reaches large intestine, then at last it is thrown out of the body through like anus. And this whole process is very lengthy process in itself. It takes a lot of time, and we have enzymes for doing that work. So that's about nutrition. Now we have okay, so next important process is respiration. When we talk of respiration, we generally think of only taking in of oxygen and getting rid of carbon dioxide, but that's not what respiration is. Respiration is divided into two. First one is external respiration, which is actually taking in of oxygen or getting rid of CO2. It can take place in different ways in different organisms. Like in humans, we call it pulmonary respiration. Through lungs, CO2 and oxygen are exchanged. While if we talk of aquatic organism, they have gills for their purposes. So according to their environment, this external respiration can differ. This is also called physiological respiration. Then we have another part of it that's the most important, that is internal respiration. Internal respiration is like which takes place in cells inside the body. This is the actual respiration. It can be divided into two parts, that is aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. On the basis, like if it is taking place in the presence of oxygen, that is O2, then it is called aerobic respiration. And if it is not taking place in the presence of O2, it is called anaerobic respiration. Okay, and along with the presence of oxygen, like it occurs in both plants and animals. Aerobic respiration takes place in plants as well as in animals, while it takes place in bacteria. It takes place in bacteria and sometimes in muscle cells also. Like during fatigue in muscle cells, this anaerobic respiration takes place because oxygen demand is very high at that time. In bacteria, like yeast do fermentation, we know that, and during that fermentation actually the whole process of respiration is like first glucose, that is 6 carbon substance, is broken down into like any intermediate one, that is I think we should take pyruvate, and this pyruvate is broken down further. This process takes place in cytoplasm, and this further process again after this step the process might differ. In case of anaerobic respiration, ethanol and CO2 forms in bacteria, while in case of muscle cells ethanol forms or lactic acid forms. In case of muscle cells, lactic acid formation takes place which cause cramps in muscles, and in bacteria ethanol forms. While if we talk of aerobic respiration, byproducts are like CO2 and H2O. Water and carbon dioxide are produced after the whole respiration process. So that's all about respiration.